my first night in the safe house, we're meeting all of the team. You know, the Americans are meeting their Ukrainian counterparts, and one of the Ukrainian team members slams a bottle down on the table. It's exactly what you would imagine, you know, rifles and armor and stacks of documents. Puts a bottle down on the table. He says, "Now we do cultural exchange." And I went, "Is that vodka?" And he said, "This is not vodka. This is horilka. Vodka is Russian, and it can only make you angry. Horilka is Ukrainian, and it opens your mind."
That first sip would lead Sam Lerman somewhere he'd never expected, into Ukraine's wine and spirits industry. 3 years later, the American veteran is bringing Ukrainian bottles to hundreds of stores and restaurants across the United States, while using the business to support Ukraine's fight against Russia.
I had my first sip of Hetman vodka. That was my first step into Ukrainian wine and spirits.
When Lerman arrived in Ukraine in 2022, wine was the last thing on his mind. He was a part of a small team of American veterans helping the Ukrainian government navigate the logistics of a war that has just begun.
So originally, I didn't have any connection with Ukraine that I knew of. I grew up in the DC area. My parents are law professors. I went to school, and then I was in high school for 9/11 and joined the military when I was 17. I served in Hurricane Katrina in Louisiana. I served in combat in Afghanistan.
When Russia launched its full-scale invasion of Ukraine, an old friend, recently retired Green Beret, called with an offer. A small team of American veterans was putting together an advisory mission for Ukraine. They needed someone who understood military logistics and procurement.
No pay, no insurance, no backing. We leave on Saturday. Do you want to come?
As Lerman packed for the trip, his wife Erin delivered some unexpected news.
My wife comes and takes a look at all of my equipment laid out on the ground and says, "Do you have a moment?" I said, "Sure." She said, "It's going well?" I said, "Yeah, I need some more things I need to get." She said, "Well, I have a plot twist," and held up the pregnancy test. And that was our second daughter.
Still, the family decided that Lerman should go, despite the risks.
I was pretty scared kissing my 1-year-old daughter goodbye, not knowing entirely what I was going into. April 2022 was a crazy time.
With his wife's blessing, Lerman crossed into Ukraine and was working for 16 hours daily from a safe house he still won't name. It was there that the seed of a wine and spirits company was planted. While working in Ukraine, he also discovered an unexpected personal connection. His ancestors left Ukraine generations ago, bound for the United States in search of a better life. Lerman became the first member of his family to return to Ukrainian soil in 109 years.
I felt that, you know, everything in my life had sort of lined up to put me in a position to go and try to help. And I really didn't want to do anything else.
Lerman kept returning, first as a volunteer, then working for a Miltech company. And every time he returned to the US, he looked for something he couldn't find: Ukrainian wine. So he started improvising.
I did what any self-respecting American veteran would do. I started bootlegging.
By early 2023, when the demand from friends and family had outgrown his suitcase, Lerman teamed up with two friends, a retired US Marine officer and a Ukrainian officer he had served alongside, and launched SPYRT worldwide. The goal was bigger than just selling alcohol.
I want to bring the best of Ukrainian wine and spirits to the United States and use it to do cultural diplomacy for Ukraine. Give Americans something to think about Ukraine that's not the war.
Today, SPYRT Worldwide brings Ukrainian wines and spirits to roughly 800 locations across 20 states, including Michelin-starred restaurants and airports. One of the company's vodkas was named Best Vodka in the United States in 2025.
People, you know, try the alcohol because it's from Ukraine, and they're interested in the story, they're interested in the mission, but then they keep buying it because it's better, and it's at a better price than anything they can get in the United States.
Lerman also tells the story behind the bottles, a centuries-old wine tradition and a climate that may surprise Americans who picture Ukraine as cold.
Southern Ukraine is at the same latitude as Burgundy in France, one of the most famous wine-growing regions on the planet. But it's warmer in southern Ukraine because it's at sea level and gets hundreds of days of sun a year.
The region is also home to one of Ukraine's most distinctive grape varieties, Telty Kuruk, or foxtail, grown along the Black Sea coast for some 600 years.
We call it the noble grape of Ukraine. It only grows in the sand on the shore of the Black Sea. You can literally taste the salinity of the Black Sea feeding the grapes. We've had masters of wine and master sommeliers in the United States try it and be bewildered, say, oh, there's not a single grape I can compare that to. It's completely unique.
But behind every bottle is the reality of doing business in a country at war.
Wartime logistics is more difficult. We have to, because we can't make sail from a port city, obviously that's very risky. We have to truck all of the wine and spirits out into Moldova or another European country and then make sail from the EU. So that adds cost and complexity.
Lerman's company is also backing Ukraine's war effort by donating 10% of its gross profits to Invictus Global Response, a nonprofit whose American veterans clear Russian landmines in liberated areas. For Lerman, the business is ultimately about more than a drink or a bottle. It is about making Ukraine visible through its culture and keeping those connections alive until the war ends.
Tens of millions of people live in Ukraine every day and continue the work to protect Ukraine and protect the Western world.
Until then, the bottles keep moving from Ukrainian vineyards and distilleries through wartime supply routes and onto American shelves. Maria Ulyanovska, Independence Avenue Media.